Hello. I suppose I was thinking about kind of an apocalyptic landscape and thinking about sort of different times or spaces, so dimensions possibly. I think that this maybe is just the beginning of a whole body of work, and I think that, yeah, there's kind of, I think what I'm interested in, that idea of death and decay but also regeneration, so that things will start to grow, new things will start to grow out of the things that maybe are here. So even, I suppose the plants are a kind of representation of that, or real things, maybe. These kinds of floor pieces is the first time I've done this, and I think they'll develop into much more sophisticated pieces that also start to talk about materials more. So the tension might change slightly between the materials and the subject matter. I think the transformation of materials is really important, but at the same time the materials are still what they are, and I'm not trying to make something that is completely convincing in a sense. It's almost like there has to be that investment of the viewer into the work. I'm going to completely contradict myself now, because I think they are, even though I'm saying they're not convincing in one sense, or they're not trying to be, they also are trying to be. So they're quite important that there's something real about them. It's that tension between the two things, I think, that's really important. And that's, I think, what is important about the way they're made. It changes slightly with the specimens, but I think the materials kind of make it convincing. Like the brown paper doesn't look like skin, and but maybe in some of my earlier work where I've made gadgets and things like that, it's been quite important that they kind of are quite convincing in terms of maybe that they imply some kind of function. There was definitely supposed to be other things in the space, but I don't feel like it's been a negative thing to take them out. I actually think it's positive. And in a way it's quite nice because I can still develop those pieces for something, the next exhibition or installation. It's great that I've now got this and these images, and I can kind of now go and approach other spaces or residency programs to see if they can help me to develop it. Yeah, sorry. I think in terms of a body of work it feels unresolved, but I think in terms of an exhibition it's quite resolved in a lot of ways, and I think maybe when I first put the exhibition up I was kind of maybe thinking it was still very unresolved, but because of how people have responded, I feel like, well, actually, yeah, it works in the way it works within the space, and I think that's a really positive thing. But I think in a way the ideas are still moving forward. I don't know about it being ambiguous. I think that it's definitely, I wanted it to be there, and I think that relates to that idea of something being apocalyptic. I imagine things will be diseased and not functioning, and it's about that kind of dysfunction, but also that desire to survive still that we've all got within us. If you strip everything away, that's ultimately what we're trying to do. Because the ideas are still there and they're kind of formulating, I think that I do have plans for the work, but obviously I have to find spaces to put the work in, so that's really what I'm thinking about now. Is where next.